It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
So this was the day we were going to have James Patterson on, but something went amiss. And who do we replace James Patterson with? I mean, you just can't replace a best-selling novelist with anybody. But we had to settle for Mike Mullis. It's a Mully Tuesday. Hey, oh, hey.
I tell you what, I've had some pinch hit appearances in my life.
Right.
This is probably right up there when you're pitch hitting for James Patterson, who,
Yeah.
by the way, is one of my father-in-law's all times. That's like
Well, he's written a book on Tiger Woods.
Yep.
And I was thumbing through it the last few days because, you know, usually we get these books and I don't read them.
Yeah, I saw that out in the lobby. Or saw. Yeah.
And that was it was actually an interesting book. There are a series of short chapters which kind of chronicle each, you know, like I read about a dinner with Jimmy Buffett,
Okay.
which was really cool from the Buffett perspective. So
What is this, an expose, or is this just?
I don't think it's an expose. I think it's just like some insight into the life. Now, it would be really helpful if James Patterson were on today to tell us about it.
No.
But he's not.
Right, but he will be here at some point.
Well, Philip the Ref Pilkington producing the show, as always. Pilk, what is the status of this?
James's guy, I don't know what to call him.
The booker?
Yeah, the booker. His booking
the
agent.
talent rep? Yeah.
Has not emailed me since the wee hours of the morning when he said that James can't come on. But I have faith in his guy because he got us Randy Cox last week
All right.
or a couple weeks ago, and that went well.
Randy Cox is not James Patterson. No,
No.
offense to Randy Cox.
No, but
Bobby Cox. No, if you got Bobby Cox.
Now, that would have been something.
That James Patterson, Bobby Cox, there's some comps.
yeah,
All right. Well, stay on top of it, Pilk.
will do.
All right. Philip the Ref Pilkington.
No pressure, Bill.
So the good news about today is there's some really important things to talk about as it pertains to baseball. A lot of news this time of year. We're at the All-Star break. There's other things with ECU. There's a lot of things to talk about. And I want you.
I know where we're going, I think.
Where?
Are we gonna delve into the national anthem from last night by chance?
We are. Don't spoil the show here.
I didn't know that was just my gut.
I
feel.
want to say something first, though, before we venture on. Congratulations to Kurt Kraft. It was announced today that Coach Kraft is retiring as the head of the track and field and cross country program. 19 years at East Carolina, 40 years in the business, and Coach Kraft will retire effective 2 months from yesterday, so September 15th. He will be on with us later in the week on Thursday. As we wrap up our live shows for the week, we'll have a best of for you on Friday. And, man, Mully, to do something. I mean, well, you coached, you know.
Oh, bud. Yeah, but, you know, when I think of what he did, and really even, for some reason, I always assimilate he and Rick Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really successful coaches, did it for a long time. Had a lot of success here that maybe flies under the radar a little bit because of them being Olympic sports. But what they've done or what they did, and obviously Coach Kobe retired some years back, but Coach Kraft, man, and not a better dude in all of college athletics.
Yeah, great guy.
Will always engage, will always have a conversation with anybody. And, yeah, what a great career and just a testament to – I mean, that's kind of in the, like, Cal Ripken echelon of professional achievements to have been able to show up and do it every day for 40 years. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
huh?
it is. Congratulations to him.
So, congratulations to Coach Kraft.
And maybe condolences to his wife now?
Nancy, yeah.
Because she's got a –
She retired in the spring from school teaching
oh, gosh.
for 40 years.
Yeah, good for her. That's a heck of a tour of duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, being married to a teacher,
Yeah,
I
know
know
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really something. Well, we'll have Coach Kraft on later in the week. Mully, well, let's have a little fun here. Let's start with the anthem.
All right.
What is the name of this singer, Pilk? I was going to look this up, but I don't have it here. A quick Google search by Philip the Ref Pilkington.
The funny thing is they say she's been nominated for 4 Grammys. I had never heard of her. I
As
listened
my
to
friend
country music.
Sarvi said when I sent the tweet to him on a text chain last night about this, he said, nominated for singing. I said allegedly.
So I will say, as I was in the lobby, she came out with actually through Barstool and made the statement that she apologized. That this is
She
serious.
should apologize.
And she was drunk, and she is admitting herself into rehab. Yeah, that literally was just minutes ago before we went on air here. So
Ingrid Andress.
there you go. So
Well, see, this is going to be less with that serious situation. This is going to be less enjoyable.
Well, I think it's a great cop out for her. I mean, and look, she had to be something because it certainly wasn't talented. I kind of described it as it was a very moving rendition of
move you right out.
Well, in moving, there are some negative connotations when certain things move, and that was one of those. It was terrible.
She's announced she's going to rehab.
Yeah.
How about that?
I did not make that up. That was not a slander of character or anything. That was what she put out on social media.
So I will give her this. There have been horrible anthems where the person's almost trying to make it bad. You think of Fergie. You think of Steven Tyler before Game 1 of the 04 World Series where he just started screaming,
Well, that's Steven Tyler's move.
Yeah,
right, that's his
but
deal.
she, I think, genuinely messed up. And then she looked like she was about to cry during the last 30 seconds or so. I think she realized she had messed up and at least cared. Like, Fergie didn't care that Fergie was horrible. Like, she meant to be horrible. I don't think this girl meant to do it, meant to disgrace the name of the country.
Fergie was trying to do something different.
Well,
and that's where her failure was.
We're missing the most egregious example of
Roseanne
intentionally.
Barr? That was
intentionally murdering the national anthem was Roseanne
I don't
Barr.
think Ingrid Andress, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and in all seriousness, I hope whatever her problem is, she gets it cured, but or dealt with. But I don't think she was trying to be terrible. I think she just was not in the frame of mind to carry a tune in a bucket, it appears. Her words, not ours.
Yeah, it was bad.
But, I mean, regardless of her state, chemically enhanced or otherwise, I think this just proves, without autotune, the crap that comes out of Nashville now is indeed that crap.
It would probably paint with a broad brush there, but I would say that's probably the case more times than not.
Well,
but I do think genuine talent exists. Matter of fact, I'll give you a great example. I had a close friend that went and saw, of all people, Alanis Morissette maybe last week in Charlotte, Raleigh.
Mully, that's kind of from our era, so
right.
that's when people still had talent.
And he said, Alanis Morissette was spot on.
Because she has talent.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying that because I do think there are talented people that still exist. But auto-tune's a big deal.
Older, if you will, this modern crop of young people are not talented.
So what if we were to sing a duet? How much would auto-tune be able to help us?
Well, it would help us because we have no talent in that regard.
Okay.
I mean, I have a nice voice, but it's not a singing voice.
Okay.
I can do spoken word with the best of them, but it's not. It is not a singing voice, and I realize that. With that said,
No. Man, I thought you were going to break it.
No.
With that said, here's this.
But with that said, we're not talking about you and I trying to do something we're not capable of doing.
No, she was bad.
This is this young lady's vocation, allegedly.
She was bad.
All right, let's play it. Bill,
do we have to?
Well, just.
Oh, did we have it?
Did you not have it? I thought I sent it to you.
Oh, you sent it to me just this morning. I
out
didn't know
out of morbid.
Curiosity. You sent me this morning out of curiosity, or last night, I think, midway through.
Then why do we have Mully? Why did we have to go order Mully a special earpiece if we're not going to play it for him?
Oh, because we're going to play for him this other clip that we've got later of a coach and an umpire fighting, and then I wanted to talk some. So so Mully can hear me.
Listen, I actually think it's a blessing that we don't have to listen to that again. First off, it was not the shortest rendition either.
It was a little lengthy.
Yeah. So and you're kind of mulling through it. I did not make it to the end last night.
Of the song?
Mm-mm. No, my son and I were watching. I said, I just can't. This is.
Did you think something was wrong? Because here's what I will say will happen. Again, this is all a moot point because she's now admitted I was substance abuse issue. But if you've ever tried to broadcast or sing in a noisy area, there's a reason you have the inner ear stuff on, because then you can hear. And if you're trying to sing, this is just interviewing countless musicians over the years. If they don't have that and they're somewhere, they can get out of tune really easily. So that's what I thought it was at first, but then I kept listening to it, and again, on the clip, I didn't see it live, and I thought, there's a little more than meets the eye here.
And I thought there was some stylistic efforts to try to get it out of the ditches, where she tried. Yeah, it just was bad. Look, at the end of the day, we have certainly beat this poor dead horse. It was atrocious. It was bad. It was one that I will never forget. Now, I may not remember her name, but I'll go, you remember the home run? Now, I don't know, there's a bright spotlight tonight for whoever's got the
Pill,
call
Google that. Who's singing
do
the anthem tonight
national
before the All-Star game? Can you Google that first, Pill?
I can tell you who it won't be.
It won't be.
No, it won't be Ingrid.
No, it won't be.
And she's out. They're going to the bullpen. They're going with somebody because that was brutal.
And I think things now, like the Carl Lewis thing was like a random Nets game in February.
But, man, that was a genuine effort that just the moment got too big.
But it blew up, as did when Maurice Cheeks came over that time with the young lady who forgot the lyrics. What blew that up was SportsCenter, which tells you how big SportsCenter used to be. Now, if you slip like Ingrid did, it goes viral.
You know who's most upset about this? The, for lack of a better way, the Hawk Tua girl.
Her 15 minutes are totally.
They're done. This is the new meme. This is going to be the new meme.
It is, but now that we know Ingrid has checked herself in for substance abuse, it does put it casts a different paw on it.
Well, I still think the memes will.
Well, no, they'll still
will flow.
Yeah. Pilku's singing the anthem tonight. Do we know?
Country music singer Cody Johnson, who's from Texas.
Okay, my guess is he stinks.
Here's my thing.
Can you get us a little Cody Johnson going to break?
Yeah, I'll try and find something on YouTube or something.
This is in the great state of Texas.
But, my guess is if he's a bro country guy.
Yeah, but
he
hear
stinks.
me out. My point is, how many great artists are there from Texas that are more synonymous with Texas than Ingrid and Cody?
And Cody? I could name.
And Cody may have a song that I recognize when I hear it, but I don't recognize the name. But there are countless other people that you would go, hey, how about this person? How about,
The redheaded stranger. Willie Nelson, who's 90. How about Willie's son, who's really good?
Now, Willie's son would be okay. If you're going to go back in time, ZZ Top.
ZZ Top would
I've
be
seen them
acceptable.
do the national anthem before.
They'd be very acceptable.
There are options other than these kind of B, C, D-listers that they're rolling out.
Without talent,
right?
That they're rolling out
and
in
that
an
may just
effort
show
to bring the young people
If this was an
in.
NFL event, we'd have somebody that was kind of marquee. Maybe this is just Major League Baseball's yet another faux pas.
You got a song from him? All right, we do. Let's go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk the Pirate Draft. Okay, he's crooning a little bit.
I do like this song.
All right, let me give it a listen here. What's the name of it, Pill?
Dirt Cheap.
Dirt Cheap.
Relatively new song. I do.
I'll give him credit. He's doing okay there. Oh no, he's going
spoken word.
Spoken word. Oh, now he's picked it back up. All right. Well, my ears are starting to bleed, and so in an effort that yours don't either, we'll take a break and come back. We'll talk the Pirates in the draft on the PJ Show.
The summer savings event is on at Greenville Toyota.
Enjoy your summer in a new Corolla for just $219 a month, or a Highlander for only $399 a month. Got a trade? Get cash for it on the spot, or trade for a new Toyota.
At Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Get to Greenville Toyota for summer savings.
Lease new RAV4s, $319 a month. Test drive the redesigned 2025 Camry. In stock and ready for delivery. All with our advantage.
At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Have you noticed he's in his own little happy hour? We're back to the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
This is the happy hour.
All right, we're looking
Here's
at
the P-Man.
yeah. Musical artist from Texas. Beyonce's from Texas. Not my cup of tea, but I mean, can't deny the star power. Willie Nelson, as I mentioned, George Strait, who performed before how many, Pilk, in College Station?
I think it was 110 or 112,000, somebody that broke a record.
Kelly?
Until Texas stole the concert. And
Right,
moved it
Texas
over.
stole the concert, UT Austin. Kelly Clarkson has a set of lungs.
Kelly's too busy for that. She's got a lot going on.
Don Henley.
I think the Eagles may be touring, but if not, that'd be a great.
My good, close personal friend, Lyle Lovett.
Yeah.
Yep. Tanya Tucker.
Tanya.
Is it Tanya or Tanya?
It's Tanya from Texas.
Tanya.
Okay.
She's from North Carolina. It'd be Tanya.
She could sing. Tanya Tucker can sing.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be great. Miranda Lambert.
You know what? Let's give Cody a chance.
Demi Lovato.
Mm-hmm.
Leanne Rimes can sing.
Hey, Demi's already been to rehab, so we don't have to worry about her checking herself
Well,
in tomorrow.
That's
She's
true. That is true. Everybody else is dead. Robert Earl Keen. Sign me up.
Yeah, a little Merry Christmas from the family in July. I like it.
There you go.
So there's people. Boy, Texas has quite a roster of deceased singers.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
It's big state. Like everything's bigger there, including the roster of deceased artists.
Yeah. We're back. ZZ Top.
Mm-hmm.
There's still 2/3 of them at least.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the draft. Mike Mullis, not Patterson, but Mullis today.
Right.
On the show. No James Patterson.
You know what? And I am. I'm sorry because I know that people were probably literally that was like destination programming, right? Like I got to catch
appointment listening.
Yeah, and here there.
But Mully can.
I'll do the best I can, folks.
Yeah.
No promise.
So there's the half empty and half full folks when it comes to things with the Pirate draft and Trey Savage. And as we got closer to the date, it seemed like Trey's number was in the mocks falling, got more into the mid-teens.
Depending on what you read.
Right, depending on what you read. I didn't think at top 10 was but there were some people that said possibility of a top 10. But he goes top 20, and for some people, the sky was falling. And obviously, it's the second highest draft pick. So, I mean, there's that, which proves it's really hard to get drafted.
No.
So, is he, what you know at least, Mike Mullis, going into obviously, as a first-round pick, they have high hopes for you. But what you know about the Blue Jays organization, how,
But he's fine. He's in a great spot. He, not just him, all of them to get the opportunity, right?
Sure,
And obviously, the Yasavage family, I can assure you, they were being informed as this thing's going on, right? There's phone calls with advisors and GMs and, different things. And they kind of knew how this thing was going to play out probably going into the day. And I'm sure they would get those calls, and this normally happens where, hey, we're going to take you at such and so. We're going to take you at 10. And then there's a decision made in the war room, and he doesn't, so those things happen. That's just part of it. But to fall, quote unquote, fall to number 20 in the first round
and get $4 million to sign.
Yeah, I mean, slot, $4 million bucks.
Not bad.
More than, no, it's a good day. It's certainly no need for panic or for anybody to feel bad for Trey. It's such a great story how it all came to pass, how he ended up here almost accidentally, and all the things, and then the success. And you watch that guy change. And I remember going into the season telling you, man, I went out to a early spring workout and saw Trey throw, and I saw the arm slot, and I'm talking to Jeff. I'm like, man, they made lots of mechanical changes, and it just really worked, and it made the splitty come live. All those things added up, and this is just a culmination of, to make a book reference, this is just a culmination of this chapter. Now, the rest of the chapters are yet to be written, and, I was thinking about this today, and I don't know statistically, but maybe it's because it's closer to home. Think about relative to the number of players East Carolina has drafted, okay, every year. We have an awful strong presence at the big league level for not being an LSU or, a program that has 10 or 11 guys drafted. We have a handful drafted, and our success rate of guys achieving is pretty high.
Not to get too far off the reservation, but that is a sellable thing to recruits, is it not?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think maybe even on the other end, you look at a guy like, another great story out of this is Carter Cunningham. So Carter gets a chance, obviously, with the Blue Jays. Where he went in the draft and the way the draft works, and we're certainly not going to get into how the money works, and quite frankly, I don't fully understand it. I don't think anybody gets it at the level that they need to get it at other than the people that live in it every day, because there's budgets and there's slot pay. I mean, it's all this stuff. But a kid like Carter Cunningham basically hits his way into the draft this year, and he does all the right things on and off the field to where he's a senior sign. He's taken in the 10th round. If you're the Blue Jays, you don't have a ton of feeling of risk with signing a kid that has developed through a program like East Carolina to become the person, the player. And that's the totality of the circumstances.
And he's going to be the kind of guy that Carter Cunningham, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's wrap up the Savage thing here in a second. But with Carter Cunningham, don't be surprised if he's working for an organization down the road.
Who knows? Yeah,
doing any number of things.
The whole deal there,
if he wants to do that,
yeah, get out there and they like you, and then the skies open up, and
But I mean, he's like a CEO kind of guy.
Yeah, and this may be a guy that, I mean, his opportunity to play in the big leagues is as good as anybody that's just been drafted.
Sure,
right?
Yeah,
he's got a fighting chance, a chip and a chair. That's all you need. You're still in the game. But you're right with the aptitudes and just the type of person. Yeah. If his desire is to stay in professional baseball, I think you'll have that opportunity. Sam Nairn's a great example of that, who's still, with the Nationals and has a pretty high position in their pitching kind of organization. But yeah, I think that the sky's the limit for all these guys.
Carter Cunningham is going to be in something where he leads people. I don't know what that's going to be.
Yeah, no, and I would be very surprised when with Carter. And of course, we're both speculating, but he's going to be. You're right. He's going to be impactful. He's going to be impactful at whatever he does. And you got to feel like most of the kids, if not all the kids that are leaving this program, have been built to do just that.
Mm-hmm. Mike Mullis with us here today in the studio, and we're talking the Pirate Draft. With you, Savage, how will he be handled? Where does he go from here, and then how is that journey handled over the next year and a half?
Philosophically, it'll be obviously the Blue Jays' call on, hey, we like where his numbers are as far as innings he threw. You'll see him a lot of times. They'll shut guys down right now and just kind of get them kind of geared up and healthy, ready to go for full
Used to be
season next
extended
year.
Spring.
Could be, there could be an extended spring stop after all this. I mean, they have rookie ball opportunities. They don't have the minor leagues that they once had.
Right.
So it's a little more constricted. It's a lot more constricted, and then it's very individually planned. And a pitcher is going to be handled different than a hitter. And but I think is Trey a fast track big leaguer? We're certainly not looking at Paul Skeens because that's unprecedented. But could we see Trey in the big leagues in the next couple of years? Sure. And in talking to some guys, that do it for a living every day, a lot of folks see Trey as a, back end of the rotation starter in the big leagues. And that's kind of what – remember, in professional baseball and how they look at things, and even in scouting high school players for college teams, everything's about comps, right? You go, hey, here's what I see. This guy comps out to be a back end of the rotation, or this guy looks like he could be a Friday night guy for us. That's kind of how all the conversations happen. And it's all going to be dependent upon how they feel about Trey and what his progression is.
Pilk, what did who was the guy from Barstool, and what did he say?
About what?
Boy, that's an open-ended.
Yeah, that is a very
about you, Savage.
Talking about the 9 Cy Youngs or 7 Cy Youngs.
Oh, yeah.
It's Frank to know that Pilk is hanging on our every word.
Frank the Tank from Barstool, the big Mets fan, said Trey Savage will win 9 Cy Youngs.
Over under.
Well, here's the deal. First off, I'm going to take the under. Secondly, this information is coming from Frank the Tank. The last person that was referred to as Frank the Tank went streaking in the quad.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know that. I think there's probably a little sarcasm there, I'm guessing.
Right. Great to have Pilk, though, hanging on your every word.
Oh, but he's locked in.
He's locked in.
Hey, did you get an earpiece before we started? I know I was struggling with one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
I got these headphones that don't half work.
Okay.
Half the time I can't hear what you guys are saying. They cut in and out.
Okay. Well, if you need to borrow mine, man, you're welcome to.
Alrighty.
All right. Mike Mullis with us here. Pilk, do we need a break?
Yeah, if we're kind of at a crossroads, so let's grab one.
We'll come back and talk the remaining Pirate draft, and then we have the ref here. We have a former coach here.
Are we going to argue? Like, we're going to
reenact?
There
was an argument between a coach and an umpire.
Oh, we can do this.
And so we'll get into all of that. But right now, Pilk, you going to do the update now? Or?
Yeah,
all right,
now.
Philip the Ref Pilkington with a 94.3 The Game sports update and Pirate report for you. Pilk?
Thank you, P-Man. Starting in Pirate Athletics, it was announced earlier today that legendary Coach Kraft will retire in 2 months' time. He has been the head track and field coach and director of track, field, and cross country for 19 years for the ECU Pirates. The Pirate basketball team has landed another big man on the 2024 roster. Incoming freshman Reed Kaysen has committed. Kaysen is a 6'10", 215-pounder out of Kingston High School in Oklahoma. The MLB draft carries on. 4 Pirates have been taken. Trey Savage went number 20 overall to the Toronto Blue Jays. JC went to the Marlins at 244. Ryan McChrystal went 269th overall to the Reds, and Carter Cunningham will be joining Trey in the Blue Jays organization. They took him with the 307th pick. Last night, the home run derby wrapped up. Teoscar Hernandez defeated Bobby Witt Jr. 14-13 in the final round to claim his first home run derby and the first home run derby to ever be won by a Los Angeles Dodger. Two-time champion Pete Alonso hit just 12 in the opening round and did not advance to the semifinals. Tonight will be the MLB All-Star Game at 8 o'clock from Arlington, Texas. Paul Skeens will be matched up against Corbin Burns. Both pitchers only expected to go 1 inning, and if they face the minimum, Burns will see Ketel Marte, Shohei Ohtani, and Trey Turner. Those are the top 3 hitters in the NL lineup, and Paul Skeens will face the top 3 hitters in the AL lineup, being Stephen Kwan, Gunnar Henderson, and Juan Soto. Former Panthers GM Scott Fitter has taken a position in Washington as he will be a personnel executive, assisting both the front office and scouting departments. He was with the Panthers for 3 years as the head GM from 21 through 23. That'll do it for 94.3 The Game Sports Flash Update and Pirate Report. More on the on the draft, as well as the All-Star Game, and much more in the world of baseball with Mike Mullis on the other side of this timeout.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Download the new IBX Media app now and get the show for your ears and eyes.
Doesn't it look great on me?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, no James Patterson today. Mike Mullis instead. Tomorrow, Mull with some golf bets as the British Open, which is what I like to call it, is going to be starting up. And then, a little sad it's the last major.
When did that become a thing where it was
a couple
problem
years ago,
whether you called it the British or the Open?
A few years ago.
I mean, aren't we entitled to call it what we wish?
Well, where are we?
We're in
Greenville, America.
Right.
Where are they?
They were saying the tournament's not played enough in Great Britain to call it the British Open.
I'm saying it's the British Open.
You can call it what you want.
I get the rationale now.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Bill.
So that's the rationale. But yes, Patrick is right where we should not be ridiculed for calling things what we want to call them. I mean, however, in the update, I almost said the Washington Redskins, and I just left it at Washington because I refused to call them the Commanders.
I'm okay with that.
The Commandos. Dave Jouse.
Yeah. So Pilk
pitched to Pete Alonso.
Yes, and Pilk was mentioning that. And interesting kind of small world, especially in the world of baseball. Most probably will not remember this, but Dave Jouse's son, DJ, who's now a scout, actually pitched at East Carolina for a year under Billy Godwin, who actually played for Dave Jouse when he was the head coach at Atlantic Christian, now Barton.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to coach DJ and his brother in summer baseball.
Small world.
It is a small world. When he said Dave Jouse, I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool story.
All right, let me ask you about Jacob Jenkins Cowart landing last night in the 10th round. Yeah. Or is it 8th round?
Oh, maybe it is 8. Okay.
Yeah, it was somewhere the 8th round. Yeah, 8th round. When you're picked in the 8th round and you're a hitter, what are the expectations?
Just go get better, and that's going to be the thing with him. JC's, look, we've well documented in doing the games this year. He's never seen a pitch he didn't think he could hit, so they're going to tighten that up a little bit and probably ask him to hit the ball in the air a little bit more, try to get out of the park, and he'll grow more into his body.
He's already got the frame.
He's already got that. He's got a big league frame. He, when again playing the comparison game, there's a number of guys that you can kind of draw comparisons to him frame-wise and skill set-wise. So it'll be interesting to see JC develop. I mean, if we think back to season before last and then think about JC's development into this year, he had a quiet, amazing year, and largely because Cunningham's exploits were just so huge that, we're watching a guy hitting 420, deep into the season and all the things that he was able to do. And then, the way McChrystal came on late, it kind of overshadowed JC. But JC led the team in the conference in RBIs, and it did it very quietly. But I think they're going to ask him to probably loft the ball a little bit more. Big league baseball, They don't care about batting average, which is a bad stat. They want to see production. And
right.
So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. But again, if you go back to how much better he got in a year, and obviously had some injuries 2 years ago, but I mean, everybody that watched any games would say, yeah, JC was a vastly improved defensive outfielder. Think about the same thing when he gets to play every day and all he's doing is playing baseball, not going to school, not going to, he is lifting and playing ball. Those reps will make you better, especially under the eyes of pro coaches.
And then Ryan McChrystal gets a shot, left-handed hitting catcher. Now, don't know how much of the catching he will do. We'll see.
Yeah.
But if you're a left-handed hitting catcher, you've always got a chance.
You got a job, and maybe he's a first baseman. If you look at the track this year, there were a ton of first basemen taken in the first 20 picks. So it's kind of interesting. You don't normally think of that, but McChrystal may make a position change, may not. I would think, with the touch and go nature of his back, I don't know that him being an everyday catcher, catching 100 plus games is probably a good idea. But a guy that's certainly another one, like, kind of said with Cunningham earlier, kind of hit their way into the draft. And, what he did throughout the season, a little bumpy early. We got it figured out, though. And in the last third of the season into the postseason, he was electric. So, it's kind of cool and really cool. Really cool when you think you had 4 guys from East Carolina go in the top 10 rounds.
All right, Mike Mullis, how many you coached ball this year? How many years have you coached ball, would you say?
Oh, gosh. I don't know, a bunch.
Philip the Ref Pilkington has umpired and officiated games, right? In Elm City, I guess last night, Pilk, do we have the video of this?
Yeah, we do.
Video captured at a Monday night Little League game shows a fight between the plate umpire and a coach that bystanders are calling an assault. Let's take a look at it on video here, and we'll watch and react to you. This is the coach coming down from third, getting in the face of the guy behind the plate. And Blue tries to get away from the coach, like most umpires do. Here comes his partner. And then the coach shoves the umpire, and then the umpire proceeds to wail on the coach with his mask. Now, they've gone out of frame of this stagnant shot or still shot that is video, and you see some of the players and coaches rushing in now. First of all, that's hideous. No matter whoever initiated, however you want to. So that's not a good thing. But, I mean, Mike, you've coached, and there's emotions involved in it. Pilk, you've officiated. There's emotions involved in reactions from coaches to calls you've made. But, that's terrible from where I sit. That's
a pretty good example. And we see some examples of this almost too regularly.
We're talking
these
12 and under kids here.
We see these things a little too regularly with, these coaches that lose it on the field. And you kind of forget what we're out here for. Obviously winning games. We don't cut the scoreboard on unless we plan on winning. But, there's a lot of lessons to be taught here. And, the coach charged the umpire, no question. The umpire kind of tried to retreat or, chill it out a little bit. And I don't know what was said or done, but I would certainly think when the umpire takes a swing at the coach with his metal face mask, that probably elevates that thing to a whole nother level. But yeah, that's sad, man. That's unfortunate. There's no need for it, and it's happening more and more often.
Yeah,
and part of it is I don't know that maybe it's not happening more and more, but Game Changer, that was a game. Any parent out there, their grandparent that's listening has probably watched their child play on Game Changer. That is the thing right now. But the fact that all these games, man, are being videoed and they're being streamed.
You see this
more.
Everybody's got one of these, so they'll shoot.
So
Pilk, what do you've officiated?
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, Mully, but I do think there's a level of respect that isn't in 2024 that probably was in 1984, and definitely even a higher respect in 1954. But anyways, look, at the end of the day, because I've been on the other side as well. You got every right to be upset sometimes, and you have the right, I think, as a player or as a coach, to ask an official why he made a call. And I think that the official should always have to own up to it. And then once he gives you an answer as to why he made it, whether you like the answer or not, you just got to walk away. Now, as an official, sometimes, and I've done this, and I want to get your response to this, Mully, if an umpire's ever done it to you, because I've missed some calls before, especially in basketball, and I've told the guy straight up, yeah, you know what? You're right. It probably was a charge, but I was looking at the ball handler and not at you. And because of that, my mistake caused me to miss the call, and I apologize. And you don't want to get in the habit of doing that because then you just look like a bad official. But if you do it once every now and again, I think they're at least going to respect you more. And not saying that he had every right to I know I'm getting away from the physical side of this because it's bad. I'm just more official coach talk here. I mean, look, everybody's human. I mean, Jim Joyce has admitted that he messed up the Armando Galarraga perfect game.
Yeah, that was kind of an isolated incident.
Yeah.
I think admitting,
Well, and we don't know what precipitated.
We don't.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But we don't know what.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Look, and we've had, and let's also face the fact, and we are in a all-time shortage for officials across all levels of sports.
Yeah.
And you're having folks go out and they're having to call games maybe 2 or 3 tiers past really what their skill set should allow.
Yeah.
But how do we get them there? Well, you don't get them there unless you get them out. They got to get out there and get used to the speed of the game. So it's part of. It's like everything else, you call, I don't care what you're doing, you call and need some help with something. Oh, we're super short staffed. Where is everybody? I don't know where everybody's working, but, we're short staffed.
They're not working.
Right. And it's same thing with officials. These guys and gals, these folks are having to get, unfortunately, on-the-job training that is going to cost mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
Well, the unfortunate thing is, like you said, less people are officiating. And I think the reason less people are officiating is going back to what we were talking about earlier, with the lack of respect. And I'm not mad at this, talking about anybody specifically, but the way that people treated umpires, say in the 50s and 60s, is different now. And I mean, you got 8-year-old kids screaming at umpires now, and it's making less people want to do it.
Well, listen, it's anybody in an authoritarian figure.
Yeah,
it's,
that's true.
That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good breaking point there. We'll come back. We're going to have a little fun at everything we wanted to have fun with today.
Are we having fun with spreadsheets? Can we call this
fun
section
with spreadsheets?
Fun with spreadsheets?
Yes, because
that is the biggest oxymoron I have ever
this
said.
is
fun with spreadsheets.
We're going to have it next.
All right.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place, and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, take your shoes, take your shoes. Yeah, good job. Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
And now,
the stunning conclusion of the show. It's the P-Man here on 94.3 The Game.
Mike Mullis is an ace to be human, Bill. He's been here the whole day today because James Patterson didn't make it.
Well, I honestly don't know that I was given much of a choice when Pilk slammed the door and locked it.
Yeah, that's true.
I said, hey, you're...
and then decided I'm not going to listen to you.
Hey, you're riding part.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. At least he did dig me up an adult-size earpiece.
Yeah, that one you had earlier was, I think, out of a cereal box. So on Stephen Igo's Hoist the Colors, which is on summer hiatus now, and where they have a huge budget because they have like 18 people that picked the winners of the division and the wild card before the season. Pilk picked. Are you ready? And I think this is apropos because we're at the All-Star break. Pilk picked the Braves to win the East. They are currently second in the East, first in the wild card. Cardinals to win the Central. They have had a heck of a year and are second in the Central and second in the wild card. The Dodgers, who somehow are in first place in the West despite all of those pitching injuries. And he went with the wild card, the Phillies, who just have the best record, 62 wins. The Diamondbacks, who are a game back of the wild card. My Cubbies, who are 3.5 back of the wild card. That's in the NL. In the AL East, he went with the O's. They're first in the East. Had a great walk-off win to go into the break against the Yankees. He picked the Twins, who are second in the Central, second in the wild card. Or a couple games out of the wild card, I guess. Or second.
No, sorry, they're second in the wild card.
Second in the wild card.
Yeah.
The Astros are 3.5 back in the West. He picked them to, or 3.5 back in the wild card. He picked them to win the West. Picked the Rangers, Rays, and Yankees for the wild card. Yanks are right now first in the wild card. Molly, what do you think of that?
First off, I'm impressed with the time that's been put into these spreadsheets. That's pretty good, Bill. I mean, the season starts now. You know, the front half of this thing is like just try not to lose it. Now it's time to go win it. This is like, we're making the turn. And matter of fact, this would effectively be like the 11th hole. So it's time to go. So yeah, Pilk, I don't hate where you're at. I mean, how do you feel about your picks?
I think everybody I picked is definitely alive.
Sure.
But if you look at your other sheet, there are some teams that I had no faith in that are right up there in the mix that I thought coming the year that didn't belong.
Cleveland, Seattle, Minnesota. Your Red Sox.
Yeah.
Well, if Igo's involved at all, Seattle's going to be up there.
Well, speaking of which, here's Igo. Igo pick the Mariners to be in the wild card. They're first in the West.
Okay.
Pick the O's to be in the wild card. They're first in the East in the AL. I picked the Blue Jays, who are 9.5 back in the wild card.
They have been the biggest disappointment.
They've been a
the
big
season.
disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they have been.
Yeah.
They certainly have been. The Astros in the West, we've already talked about that. He picked the Twins in the Central, who are second in the Central and still have a great chance. Minnesota's a good club. And the Yankees, who despite their issues, are first in the wild card. He picked them to win the East. He went Padres in the West. In the NL, went Cardinals. Well, you guys had a lot of Cardinal. That's surprising. I didn't think the Cardinals,
you should hear. I wish I had the audio of Joey Football's rant about how bad the Cardinals were going to be.
Well, the first month he was right.
Yeah.
Phillies, best record, wild card. He went with the Braves in the East. The Braves can still win the East.
Mm-hmm.
Probably won't, but they could. A lot of love for my Cubbies. I go had them to win the Central, had the Dodgers to win the West. I don't think the Dodgers, they're relying, there's no pitching out there they can go get, is there, Molly?
No, but it's the Dodgers. I mean, I think they'll be there at the end. They get a couple guys healthy.
I think they'll be there, but it's just
a couple guys healthy, and they're a whole different deal. I mean,
they got, is it at least 5 Pilk starting pitchers that have
Oh no, I saw a graphic the other day, and it was like 8 arms, 8 or 9 that had been in and been back. I mean, they in and out of the lineup, and then it was like 5 or 6 position play key guys that in and out of the lineup. They've had some turmoil due to injury, but they just they are just so deep. I mean,
they're finding ways. Unlike the Rangers, who've been almost equally as banged up in that starting rotation and are sitting how many ever games out of the wild card right now, who have not been able to put it together.
One of the teams you never hear anything about for a lot of reasons are the Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think, because they're hanging around, I think they will have a chance to kind of get it together. And if they get in, they have a chance to, because they've done it.
All I could see with Diamondbacks is like Chad Tracy and Steve Gonzalez.
And my buddy Torey Lovolo, who's managing him now.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about.
I know, back in the day.
See, the old. When they were the Diamondbacks.
When they were the Diamondbacks.
Now they're what, the D-backs.
D-backs.
Right, like the Devil Rays. No, we can't
right.
do that.
They're the Rays. There'll always be the Devil
Talk about
Rays.
another team that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who's really looking forward to this thing being over is the Oakland Athletics to figure out what are we doing? Like, are we going to Vegas, or are we?
I heard they're going to Sacramento
for a year.
Or we just go? Yeah, but I mean, you talk about it. I mean, what are we? What's our plan? It just seems like that's a rudderless ship.
It's a rudderless ship right now. Well, I mean, you can't blame them in Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, it must be tough. That this is the team that's won the second most World Series all time.
Yeah,
at 11 or 13 or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, it's a mess. Their situation. Them and the White Sox, just kind of like, what are we doing?
White Sox are supposed to be somewhat decent too. That's the crazy thing.
As a Cubs fan, I actually hate the Sox worse than the Cardinals.
Well, they're bad.
Really?
So I'm fine. Yeah, I don't like the White Sox at all. So I'm fine with it. None of that. Which, by the way, I think the Cubs, they're not gonna be sellers, but they're not gonna be buyers at this trade deadline.
No. I think they're gonna roll with what they've got.
Yeah.
Just play out the string.
Yeah.
Nothing worse to do, by the way, than be on the back end of have about 25 games left and nothing to play for.
Yeah. Do you like the expanded wild card?
Yeah, because I guess it incents folks to stay engaged as far as players and look, we still see this thing come down to single game play-ins. I mean, so yeah, I don't have a problem with it. That's where we're going with everything, right? I mean, we're going to bigger college football playoff, and I mean, we're having the NBA's got 2 tournaments now,
right.
Whatever. So more revenue opportunities and more bonus opportunities for these players. And
I have no problem with Skeens starting the All-Star game. I think that's a brilliant.
I think it's who it should be.
Yeah.
Let's think back. It was last year,
right,
where Shohei started on the mound and led off.
Yeah,
that's not a practical baseball move, but that's exactly what needed to happen.
But as Pilk and I said yesterday, this is a TV show.
That's exactly
Tonight
right.
Is a TV
I don't
show.
understand. Okay, if you want, let's go. Let's move Judge up a spot in the lineup.
Yeah.
Make sure he faces them. I mean,
when you gave that in the update, Pilk, I was stunned you didn't say Judge. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I get he's a cleanup style hitter, but
bat him third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have a problem with just take the top 3 guys that you want to see Skeens face and roll them up there. American League, National League, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Let's just make this what it is, and it's an exhibition.
Because at some point, casual fan is going to tune out.
And it will probably be not long after Paul Skeens pitches.
Correct.
That one might be the only smarter move.
So in a way, you hope somebody for the AL gets on.
Yeah.
So Skeens will face.
Well, and that might have been the smarter play is we're going to throw Skeens in the 3rd inning. That would probably be at about the back end of most people's consumption of the game.
Yeah.
But it would get you a little bit more of a crowd to hang on, and then maybe the game has some pace to it, and now maybe you stay tuned in.
I agree with what you're saying, Mully. The only problem is people see who's starting, and then that's a very logical thing to say, but people are going to be like, well, how do we know he's going to be the 3rd pitcher? Because the All-Star game is planned out in advance, but the casual fan doesn't think they don't realize that the All-Star game is planned out. They think it's the same as any other baseball game, and they're like, well, how the hell do they know when he's going to throw?
Yeah, well, then if they may not need to tune in then. WNBA's on.
Watch Bravo or something? Something like that. Molly, what you got planned for? Congratulations to you. You're Farm Bureau now.
Oh, yeah. I've been there a couple months now. Back home, man. It's back where it all started for me coming out of coaching, and I'm super excited and great situation. And, man, lots of good things going on. So,
happy for you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I do.
Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully it'll, we like it hot, but.
Well, maybe let's not get into this, Mully. I mean,
come
on.
It's been a little bit much.
Well, it's July.
I know, but it's
summer.
But it was June, and it was freaking scalding.
It was weird. It was a mild spring, and I thought, hey, maybe mild summer, and it went.
Me too.
Yeah.
We went 0
The
to
hell's
60.
front porch.
Yeah. We went to 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye. But,
Mully, good to see you, bro.
Yeah, always, man.
The great
Always.
Mike Mullis. Who needs James Patterson when we got Mike Mullis?
Screw that guy.
Again, our apologies to Mr. Patterson if his representation is turning into that way. That's Mike Mullis speaking, and his views do not reflect those of ours because we want to get James Patterson on. Brian Mull tomorrow. Kurt Kraft on his retirement Thursday. Thanks to Pilk. Thanks to Mully. We'll see everybody in the morning on Talk of the Town, and then back here, PJ Show tomorrow at 5.